Good afternoon, everyone. It's Anita Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I would love to talk a little bit more about this direction that I've started to share with you for the next few videos at least. And this is about this personal peace, right? Personal peace. And the quotation that I came across that I'd like to share with you today is by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. And this quotation says, "Someday perhaps the inner light will shine forth from us, and then we'll need no other light." Now, isn't that beautiful, right? So, when this inner light shines forth from us and we would need no other light, imagine what that means, that at any moment I'm carrying this comfort, this peace, this joy, this experience of contentment, right? I'm just carrying it no matter where I go because it's my light. And we all have this and we can build this. And of course, that would also include peace. And I really wanted to share these ideas with you today so that to kind of prepare you for what we're going to be, or I'm going to be sharing with you in the next few videos. And I realized that, wow, you know what? I use the term scripture a lot in my videos. And scripture, just in case any of you are thinking about it, when I mention scripture, there's a lot of people that would link that with biblical scripture. And it can link with the older New Testament, and that can be what people automatically think about when they think of scripture. And when I'm using the term scripture, I'm using it from this definition, which it's a noun, meaning a sacred, solemn, or authoritative book or piece of writing. And this is what I love, right? So this is what I'm sharing with you. These sacred pieces of writing. And I can tell you that it's been many years that I've been so drawn to these sacred writings and from various sources. And a lot of times it's been other people who have interpreted sacred writing because it's written in different languages, oftentimes. And the language that I've been drawn to most, though I don't know it fully, I'm certainly learning now, is Sanskrit. And I can tell you that when I first was drawn to this, it was because I saw that so much ancient writing for medical information is in Sanskrit. And a lot of that writing was lost over time, and some of it was refound and all of that. But Sanskrit itself is such a complex and deep language. So it's got so much meaning to even a single word that it requires educated minds that are philosophers or deeper thinkers that are analyzing that writing and understanding it and allowing it to flow through to us. And I'm hoping to let that flow through to you. So I wanted you to know why I lean towards this. That's the reasoning behind my interest in Sanskrit. Who knew that, or I didn't know, that I was drawn to it because it was linked with medical writing. And yet, wouldn't you know that when I look at Know Thyself, there's so much that I come across that is linked to Sanskrit teachings or Sanskrit teachings and writings and interpretations and descriptions. And that's what I'm hoping to share with you. So, not only about knowing yourself for your health, which is my goal, but just to know yourself, right? So, just in terms of any of us can learn a little bit more from some of the things that I'll be sharing with you and that people have shared with many of the world, or with the world. So, I thought that today I would explain a little bit about this direction of personal peace. And I want you to know that there's different words that can be used when we're describing how to get to peace. So I suspect that many people would know that we could use psychology words, we could use philosophical words, we could use all sorts of different training that's out there. And I'm going to be using some Sanskrit teachings. And of course, I love ancient teachings because I find that they're so timeless, right? So this is things that when we discover them, it's usually at the right time for ourselves. This is what I'd like to help you learn. So when I'm using the words for this series, they're going to be these Sanskrit words, and there's 3 different words that I'm going to use, and they're all falling into a term that's called guna. Guna, Guna, is a Sanskrit term which is about tendencies, right? So a tendency of a person, and we all know that people have their own tendencies, right? So there's one tendency which is known as tamas, and that tendency has no inertia. Like it's just at, well, we'll say it's inertia. It's basically it could be laziness. So you can imagine all of us can either experience it or have seen it. Let's say a parent is asking a child to take out the garbage, and that child is like, as a teenager, I'll get to it eventually. Now, we know that unless that parent is reminding that child relatively regularly that day, that garbage might not get out, right? But this is the same thing that happens in adults, right? I really wanted to do this, I just don't feel like it. I'm just so tired, right? That energy is tamas. The next energy, again in the Sanskrit term, would be rajas. And rajas is passionate and excited and industrious. And don't we all love that energy, right? So we all have felt it at times that we're really excited about something, right? It's such a great energy that when that rajas gets there, right? And it's a tendency. Again, it's a behavioral trait, we could say. It's one of the traits that people can have according to these gunas. And the third is sattvic. And the sattvic is calm and peaceful. And it's also happy, just so you know. All of these states can be happy. So imagine if you're really tired and you needed to sleep, you can be really happy when you're getting that sleep or finally lying down, right? Or if you're really enthusiastic about something and you're doing it, you can be really happy in that. And when you're not needing to do anything, you're just enjoying a book or just reading or just speaking with someone that you enjoy the company of, you can be in that sattvic mode, right? So all of these will be things that I'm going to be elaborating on. And I just wanted to plant that seed of those words with you today. And I wanted to share this quotation that is from the Bhagavad Gita, which is a Sanskrit teaching, or was written in Sanskrit. And this was actually, it's based on a story, and it's a tale of a teaching from a teacher to a student in that process, in that actual story. And I came across a wonderful quotation from there that I wanted to share with you, that again might help you understand what we'll be talking about, or I'll be sharing with you in the next few videos. So this quotation says, that which is poison in the beginning, but nectar in the end, is said to be sattvic pleasure. That which is ambrosia in the beginning and poison in the end is said to be rajasic pleasure. And that which is poison in the beginning as well as in the end is said to be tamasic pleasure. That's a deep quotation, huh? And you know, I am going to be elaborating on all of this, but I will start with, at least for you, understanding that poison in the beginning and nectar in the end is said to be sattvic. And sattvic was just the thing that I mentioned, that this is something that when we are thinking of knowing thyself, that's where we would want to strive to, because there is this calm peace there too, right? And it's sattvic. It's such a great place. But what is this poison in the beginning and nectar in the end? Poison in the beginning, imagine even learning something new is like, oh, I don't know if I'll ever remember all this information, right? And yet, when you've learned it, that's how knowledge is, right? When we learned it, doesn't it feel fantastic? I get it, right? That feeling, that's that nectar in the end. Okay, so I want you to hopefully reflect on that and recognize today, maybe, what is it that has started off as not so easy for you and ended up as like, wow, I'm so glad I did that, because that's the sattvic nature that I'm going to be helping you learn about in the next few videos. And again, I want to make sure that we all know that we all contain all three of these. It's just different amounts of each for each of us, and we'll all have our own individual tendency that this is our comfort zone to stay in this. And that's what I'll be talking about. So I finally want to end with this quotation, and I do hope that you think today about, where do you think you lean towards most out of those three possible tendencies. This quotation is very lifting for me to read, so I wanted to share it with you to end this video. This quotation is by Katrina Mayer, and it says, "She found joy and wonder in every little thing, and joy and wonder always found her." And I love that, because that's very sattvic. So I want you to know and leave this video with this understanding of this joy and wonder that can be achieved by this sattvic learning and awareness. I wish you a fantastic day ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.